Hello, 6th grade band students. We're going to get started right away today, and we're going to first go to page number 9, number 26, right where we left off yesterday. So yesterday we went through and did line A of Love Somebody Duet, and today we're going to do line B. Now I asked you yesterday to play line B on your own and go through it. If you did that, great, you're a step ahead and you're ready to go. We're still going to go through this little by little. Today I am playing on the flute, so flute players, yay for you. Everyone else, make sure you're following along just like me. It may sound higher than what you're supposed to be hearing, but it is the same notes throughout. Okay, so let's get started. I have my metronome set over here. We're going to turn it on, and we're going to count line B of Love Somebody. And down, up, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Great. Now we've done that. I hope you remember the repeat first. Second, now that we've done that, we're going to go on to our note naming. Now, I am a C instrument, it's called, it's a flute. So I'm going to count, or I'm going to note name for the C instruments, which are the flutes, the percussion, and the low brass. Everyone else, you are going to still say your note names, but they're going to be different than what you hear coming from me. Here we go. And down, up, ready, go. C, D, E flat. E flat, D, C. D, 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 C, D, C. B flat, C, C. B flat, B flat. C, D, E flat. E flat, D, C. B flat, D, D, C, D, C. B flat, C, C. B flat, B flat. Awesome. Now, you saw that I made a middle mistake. I lost my spot when I was trying to read on my page. That's okay. I kept going and I tried to jump back in as quick as I could. Things are going to happen. That's how we get better. So, now that we've note named it, we're going to play it on our instrument. Okay? Here we go. And down, up, ready, go. Very good. Now, hopefully you've played along with me, and if you want to go back and play line A while I play line B, that's a great practice. Or you can go to yesterday's video and do the exact same thing by playing line B while I played line A, or vice versa. So for flutes, a couple things to think about while you play this. There's a lot of C to D changes, and we need to make sure that we are getting our quick fingers between our first finger and our pinky, and switching to everything else where our first finger and our pinky are the only things up. Okay, we want to keep our fingers nice and close to the flute, and we want to move them all at once. If we move them in a ripple, we don't get a very good sound. Okay? Now, trombone players, you have a similar problem. You use B flat in first position and need to go to C a bunch. in sixth position. So you need to make sure you're moving nice and quick, and you're moving them with that whole arm, and that you're blowing enough air to make the notes sound connected, but inserting that tongue right between the notes so that you can hear the separation and we don't get what's called a glissando. Okay? Now let's see, clarinet players. When you are playing this one, you move up those fingers a lot. There's not too much that's challenging in here, but we need to make sure that we're not rushing as we go up our fingers. We more like to rush more when we go up than going down. So we want to keep it nice and steady, make sure every single one gets a full beat as we play. Saxophones, there's going to be a similar problem. The only difference saxophones that you may have is that when you go to D in measure 5, sorry, that's in line A. When you go to D in measure 5 of line A, you've got to make sure you get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 octave key with that D, and that you can switch between the octave key and all your fingers between B and C before that. Okay. In line B, there's not too much that's challenging for you saxophones. It's a lot of your first 3 fingers. You just got to make sure you're doing the same thing as clarinets. Trumpets, we need to make sure they're using the correct partial. Okay, we're not getting too low on any of our partials. We got to use fast air and use consistent, steady air as we play. All right, let's turn this over. We're going to do something new. We're going to go on to page 10 and do number 29. Now, there's something new in number 29, and we talked about it briefly, I believe, in the woodwind class. On this page, there's something new, and it looks like a curve that goes and connects between 1 and 2 notes or 3 notes. So that right there is called a slur, and you can see that on top of your page. There's a definition. It says articulation, meaning the tonguing of the note that connects notes of different pitches, and it indicates a very smooth sound with only the first note tongued. So for everyone but the trombones and percussion, it's super simple. What we're going to do is keep our air going through the note, but we're going to change our fingers mid-note. So if I was to slur from a B flat to a C concert, flutes, I would go, and all I'm doing is changing that C without adding a tongue. Now that you kind of understand what a slur is, we're going to use that in this piece number 29. It's called Warm Up, and it's called Serenity, and it's in a round is what it's saying. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through between a whole bunch of our first 5 notes that we all know, B flat, C, D, E flat, and F concerts. Clarinet and trumpet, this is your C, D, E, F, G. And saxophone, this is your G, A, B, C, D. Okay, so using those 5 notes, you're going to go through those and you do a whole bunch of different slurs between them. So let's do this first. Let's count it. Here we go. And down, up, count it, go. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now that we've completed the counting portion, okay, and it's fairly simple. We're using lots of half notes and quarter notes. There's no rest in this. We just take some breaths with those little commas that are above the music notes and the measure lines. Okay, we're just going to take some breaths there. Now, let's note name it. Again, I'm note naming with the C instruments today, so flutes and low brass and mallets. That's you. Here we go. And down, up, ready, go. B flat, C, B flat, C, D, D, E flat, D, E flat, F, F, E flat, F, E flat, D, D, C, D, C, B flat, C, B flat, C, D, D, E flat, D, E flat, F, F, E flat, F, E flat, D, D, C, D, C, B flat. So, now we're going to go on to actually playing it. But before we play it, I want you to play around with using the slur. So I want you to go between each of these different notes. We're going to start with B flat and C. Clarinets, this is your trumpets, and clarinets, this is your C and D. And saxophones, this is your G and A. Now, mallets, so our percussionists, you don't need to do anything different for this. So for you, you can jump ahead in this video to where we actually play it all together. Okay? Here we go. So everyone else, let's practice slurring between those first two notes. We're going to go. And I want you to echo me. So we're going to tongue the first note. But then when we go to the second note, we're just going to lift our fingers, move our fingers, okay, and go quickly to that note. Trombones, I want you to just move as quick as you can between the first note and the second note. If you move fast enough, you don't have to tongue. But we'll talk more about that for you, specifically in class. Here we go. Everyone echoing me. Let's try that with the metronome now. Now let's go faster. Make sure we only tongue the first note, and then we're going to go 4 quarter notes like I just did. Now let's echo measure 2. This is 3 different notes. You're going to slur all of them. You're only going to tongue the B flat to start, the C for clarinet trumpet, and the G for saxophones. Ready? Echo me. Great. Now, let's echo measure 3. This is D to E flat. You've already done this, but we're tonguing the D first. Now let's go to measure 4. We're going to go D, E flat, F. We're playing all 3 notes, but only tonguing the first note. And then on the way down, we just do the exact same thing, but in reverse. So at the beginning of every single measure in this song, you're going to tongue the note. But none of the other beats, so beat 2, beat 3, or beat 4, you're just going to keep your air going as if you're playing one long whole note that takes 4 counts to get through that whole measure. So now let's start from the beginning. We'll go with the repeat, and you're going to play along with me as we play number 29, Serenity. Here we go. Playing along with me. Ready? Down, up, here you go. Very nice. Now percussion, I hope you were just playing along with us that time. You can go back through and make sure you're alternating between your mallets. You can make sure that you are going through and moving nice and evenly and making every note sound the same with the rebound, so it's ringing nice and good. Okay? So woodwinds, brass that are doing all the slurs, okay, you need to make sure that you are using one big long airstream when we do this, And trombones, I want you to move your slide as fast as you can. We will talk more about movement of the slide during a slur later, but for now, that's a great practice. Ready for your challenge. Here's some homework for tonight. If you feel like, man, I can handle this no problem, I want you to go on and play number 30. And I want you to go on and play number 32. Both of these continue to use the slur, and it adds a new note, okay? So flutes, you're adding your G. This is 1, 2, 3, and thumb, and your pinky. That is a note that we've already played. We learned before we learned some of the other notes. Clarinets, yours is A, and we talked briefly about this. We want to make sure that when we use that A, we're using that top fingering button, right? And we're just rocking from our first finger F sharp up to that note. And that's all we push is that top button. Everything else stays the same. Saxophones, you're using E, so you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, leaving up 6, and you're going to use your octave key thumb in the back to play E. Now trumpets, you're going to use 1 and 2 to play A, but the kicker is it's got to be the faster, stronger air to get up to that third partial. So you need to make sure you're using lots of strong, consistent air to get there. Trombone, baritone, your new note is G. Your new note is G, and you need to go fast, strong air to get up to that note as well. It is 4th position trombones, 1 and 2 for baritone. Mallet players, it's just a new note of G. You can all find G. It should be 1 bar to the right of F, okay? Just like in your alphabet. So if you can play number 30 and number 32, that uses the new note G concert, and it alternates between some tongued notes and some all slurred notes. Okay? Happy practicing, and I'll see you tomorrow.